You're not bad at resting. You've just learned how to turn rest into work. Even when the world stops, your mind doesn't. It stays awake, measuring, tracking, whispering a single cold question. Is this useful? I'm Jay, and this is Jay Within. And if relaxing has started to feel strangely uncomfortable, it's not an accident. It's a symptom of a much deeper theft. It usually looks harmless. You finally get a moment to yourself. No deadlines, no notifications, no one asking for anything. Just space. A quiet evening. The light is soft, fading through the window in long gray streaks. You're sitting there, your phone is in your hand, but you're not really using it, just scrolling, not even reading the words. You pause. For a second, there is absolutely nothing to do. And that's when it hits. Not loud, not dramatic, just a small, sharp thought that cuts through the stillness. I should be doing something. And suddenly, the moment changes. The quiet doesn't feel like peace anymore. It feels like a vacuum. It feels like you're falling behind a version of yourself that is currently being better than you are. So you fix it. You reach for something justified, a podcast to learn something new, a book to optimize your mindset, a workout to fix your body. Because doing nothing doesn't feel like rest anymore. It feels like waste. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you rested without trying to improve anything? No learning, no recovery, no future benefit. If that question makes you feel uneasy, you're not alone. Because somewhere along the way, we stopped seeing rest as a place we return to and started seeing it as a reward we have to earn. But the more you try to justify your time, the less time you actually have. And here's the part that's easy to miss. This didn't start with you. That pressure you feel in the stillness, that quiet guilt, it was built slowly, quietly, repeated until it felt normal. At some point, rest changed. It stopped being rest and became recovery. And recovery has a condition. You're allowed to stop only if it helps you start again. Only if it makes you a more efficient machine tomorrow. Think about it. Your walk isn't just a walk anymore. It's a mental reset. Your reading isn't just reading, it's self-improvement. Even your sleep has a job. You track the cycles, the deep sleep, the REM, not because you want to dream, but because you want to perform. Nothing is allowed to just exist anymore. Everything has to lead somewhere. And without noticing, you turned your entire life into a system. Input, output, progress. Always moving, never still. There's a philosopher named Byung-Chul Han who describes this in a way that haunts me. He says we no longer live in a world that forces us to work. We live in a world where we force ourselves. No boss is telling you to be productive at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. No one is watching you on a Sunday afternoon. And yet, you feel watched by a voice in your head that sounds like you but doesn't feel like you. It says, this isn't useful. You're wasting time. That's not motivation, that's conditioning. It feels like responsibility, like you chose it, but did you? Or did you just internalize a system that doesn't know how to stop? Because when rest needs a purpose, it stops being rest. It becomes productivity in disguise. And you don't feel exhausted because you're doing too much. You feel exhausted because you're never allowed to just be without becoming. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Because part of you doesn't want to let this go. There's a strange safety in always doing something, always moving, always improving. Because if you're always becoming something, you don't have to face what's already here. The silence, the questions you've been postponing, that quiet, cold feeling in your gut that something is fundamentally off, even if you can't name it. So you stay busy. Not because you have to, but because stopping feels heavier than continuing. And you felt this. You sit down to rest, and within minutes, you reach for something. Not out of need, out of discomfort. Like your mind doesn't trust empty space anymore. I remember one night. No noise, no music, no screen. Just a dim room and the faint hum from a heater somewhere in the house, and silence. At first, it felt calm. Then something shifted. My body was still, but my mind started searching, reaching, clinging for something to hold on to. And then the thought came, simple and sharp. This isn't enough. Not the moment, not the room, not me. So I broke it. I picked up my phone, opened an app, anything. And just like that, the silence disappeared, replaced by a noise that felt easier. And that's when it hit me. Maybe the problem isn't that we don't know how to rest. Maybe it's this. We've learned to avoid ourselves so well that silence feels like exposure. Let me ask you something. If everything went quiet right now, no distractions, no goals, no improvement, would you feel peace or would you feel pressure? Because the more you optimize your life, the less space there is to actually live inside it. So you keep moving, not forward, just away. And maybe this is the truth that stays hidden. You didn't lose your ability to rest, you replaced it with something that looks similar but isn't. Because real rest doesn't improve you. It doesn't make you sharper, it doesn't make you more efficient, it doesn't give you an edge over the person you were yesterday. It just leaves you alone. And that's the problem, because you've learned that every moment should produce something, that time only matters if it leads somewhere. So when nothing happens, your mind reacts, not loudly, but enough to pull you back into motion, back into the noise, back into doing. Because doing feels safe. Doing tells you who you are. But being has no structure, no reward, no validation. It's just you without anything to hide behind. And maybe that's the realization. Not dramatic, just honest. You didn't forget how to rest, you just stopped trusting moments that give you nothing back. You made every moment useful and lost the ones that made you human. So maybe the question isn't, how do I relax again? Maybe it's this. What if rest was never supposed to serve you? What if it's the one place, the only place, where nothing needs to happen? No progress, no improvement, just presence. So maybe nothing needs to be fixed right now. Maybe the next time that urge shows up, to fill the silence, to justify the moment, to turn it into something useful, you don't follow it. You just notice it. And for a few seconds longer than usual, you stay. No improvement, no purpose, just presence. You became efficient, but not alive. And maybe being alive isn't about doing more, but about finally allowing a moment to exist without asking anything from it. No outcome, no meaning to extract, just a quiet piece of time where nothing is required from you. If this felt like a conversation you needed to have, subscribe. Let's keep walking through the mist together. See you within.